That's your fragmented memory we have discussed. And then so you can see this diagram here. Sorry. So this is what we have seen before. Just 1 second. Yeah. So that's what, if you see this diagram here. Just a minute. I have connected to slideshow. You can able to see the full screen. Okay. So today's part, meanwhile, what we'll do is today's part we are discussing on what non-contiguous memory. Okay. We are discussing on what non-contiguous memory. Yeah, you can able to see the full screen. See this here. There is some portion of that which is not allocated, which is free. So this part is free. Okay, so that portion of that is called as what? Fragmentation, which we are not using it. It's called as your fragmentation. Okay, now if you see here, see this one here. You see this one here. Let us say here. You see this one here, where you have, this is a kernel space. This is given for process A, process B, process C, and process D. So we have 4 processes. So we have 4 process, let us say. Okay, process from A to D we have. Process A, B, C, D we have. Correct? And this corresponding portion what we have here, so this is your fragment. What is this? This is your fragment. Was some delay, I think. Yeah, it's not visible. Yeah, fine. That's your fragmentation part. Now what happened here, after some point of time, what happened, this B is there here, right? So this B has completed its job. Okay, what is that? This B is being done. After some point of time, what will happen? So this B is done. So this B is out now. So it is done with its job. Now if this B it is done, so what happened? You can see this here. If B is done, what happened to that? 1 second. If B it is done with it, then this corresponding portion, what you can see this here, okay, it's completely free. It's completely free, which means what? It is now can be used for any other purposes. Let us say this one we can use for any other process. So this is now free. Is that okay? Yeah, okay, right. So this is free now. As it is free, let us say this one will require around, it is around 40 KB space, and this is around 10 KB space. So we have 40 KB and we have 10 KB space. Now, if you come to this one here, let us say we got a new process. Let us say that process is called as E. What is that new process? Is called as E. Now that much space was not there. So what we have did here, we have adjusted the space of C and D here to the above side. So we have moved it to the upper side, C and D, and then we allocated some space exclusively here, because if E requires around, 1 second, if E requires here around 50 KB. Okay, technically speaking, we have 50 KB of space, 40 and 10, but it is not together. We cannot able to allocate that. So what we have did here, we did that something called what here, this is called as what? Compaction. So you can see that here. So this one, so this is your memory compaction. What you can see that here. I think when you, actually it's a highlighter. If I highlight it, it should get visible more, but it's not visible at all. Yeah, so this is your compaction. Is it clear what we are trying to do? Let us use a common color. Red is better. Yeah, so this is memory compaction. So what is that compaction? You understood, right? Where we don't have a free space, we are trying to allocate it by adjusting the other memories. So this corresponding thing, what we have did doing here, this is the thing what we are doing here is called as what? Memory compaction. Okay, So that is your concept. So this is compared to your memory compaction in your contiguous memory, right? Now let us move on. This already we discussed, but we are trying to discuss with the help of a PPT. We discussed in general, and yeah, now some other concept we have here. This is done. Sorry, this is done. Yeah. So this straight away we are coming to this. Okay. So next one is your non-contiguous memory. Non-contiguous memory, which means you can see this here, which means there are different locations, different memories there at different locations. It's not continuous. So whereas if in the previous example you see this one here, you see this example here. Now let us say it's starting from 0, okay, it's going up to 1000, let us say. So all the memories are at same location. Let us say 0 become 1, 1 become 2, 2 become 3. It's not that somewhere here memory from 4 to 40 it is used for something called as stack. No, this is not the case. So this is contiguous memory. Whereas in this case here, so if you see this one here, there is some other thing it is used. It is not used properly. So if you see P1, see P1 is using here, the space is using by P1, and P2 is using here somewhere. So P3 is using somewhere here, which means there are gaps here. There is some gap here. Okay, after this P2 and P3 are together. No, but there's some gap here, C. So a gap between F here and gap of C. So these two are available. So that's why this kind of memory is called as what? Non-contiguous memory. That is non-contiguous memory. It's like contiguous means what is not continuing actually. So to make you understand easily, continuous memory and non-continuous memory. But in memory terms, we call it as contiguous memory allocation. Okay. Portions of a process address space are distributed among different memory areas, not one memory area, distributed among different memory areas. Then we call it as what? Non-contiguous memory. Okay. So now if you see this process P1 here, P1 requires 50 KB and memory starts from 100 KB. Let us say this is your 100 KB. So this is the start point. This is your starting point. We are not talking about the ending point. And let us say P2 here, P2 will require 30 KB and this is been starting from 300 KB. So this is the starting point of the process P2. Similarly, this process P3 we have 60 KB and that starting point is 450 KB. So this is what the process P3. Where is process P3? It requires 60 KB. You can able to identify process P3 here. Yeah, this one. So this is your process P3. Okay. So starting with 450 KB. Is that clear? What is this contiguous memory? So which means you can see this one here. This 50 KB is free. Here 30 KB is free. Here 80 KB is free. Here 40 KB is free. But remaining memory, this is occupied by kernel. So this is occupied. Whatever is in gray color, it's occupied. So this also is not free. Okay, but this one is free. Free means what? It is available. It is available. Okay, you are understanding it? The first portion A diagram will show the memory which is used and which is not used. So you are randomly shown here 50 KB, 30 KB, 80 and 40 KB availability. Okay, and now some process, let us say P1 want 50 KB. Now out of this you can choose anyone. The computer can choose, the operating system can choose anyone. Let us say it has chosen around P1 for this 50 KB. P2 requires 30 KB, it will choose this one. Because, or you can choose 40 KB also. No issue. If it's not available, if this is not there, it will choose this also. So they have taken perfect example just to match accordingly. Okay. So process P3 requires 60 KB here, but we have 80 KB and 40 KB. We cannot give 40 KB space here. We have to give this 80 KB space for this. In spite of 60 KB requirement, we don't have any other option. We have to give this. So that's why you can see this 20 KB is become a fragment. Is this clear? Non-contiguous memory. This diagram is clear to you all. What is happening here? Hello? Any doubt in that?
Yes, sir.
See, Madan, you supposed to, because of you people only, we are not sending the link. You are not supposed to join with the link. You're supposed to join by using calendar. Is it clear? Madan? Madan, are you there? You please join with proper credentials. Okay. Yeah, is that clear? What's the difference between contiguous and non-contiguous memory? Yes. Shall we go further? Any doubt in this? Now, this portion I have not touched. I'll tell you why. This B part, what we have here, will come next. What is that? So C part is clear. C part is what? Based on this free spaces, we have allocated here where to give which process, along with process FCD or whatever. Already FCD is in access. They are they are using it. Okay. Shall we go for the next slide? Non-contiguous memory. Yeah. And there is something called the concept, there is something called as, there are two things here to understand. One thing is, first thing is logical address. This is the first thing. What is this logical address to understand? Okay. Second thing is your physical address. So these two, if you understand clearly, then you can able to understand this concept. Okay. I'll explain you what is this logical address and what is this physical address. Okay. I hope you all can see the screen, right? Yeah. So one is logical address. Yeah. So this is your logical address, and there is something called as physical address. Okay. Yeah. Fine. If you have any landmarks, let us say, okay, you want to go to some place. Let us say you want to go to some place called X. You want to go there. What they will tell? Yeah. Let us say you want to travel to something this X place. You want to go to Majestic. Okay. Or you want to go to, let us say, airport. Right. Now, how people will say address to you? I want to go to airport. I want to travel by air, or you want to travel by air. You want to go to airport. You don't know where it is. You are asking someone. Sir, why to ask someone, sir? I'll check in Google Maps. That's fine. Why to ask someone? You're asking Google Map. It's okay. But the concept here is when you ask someone over phone or directly, they'll say you the address actually. When they send you like this, 102.11.7.2 degrees towards north, right? And 104.12.7.5 towards west or northeast and west south, something like this. They have sent the latitude longitude. This is one address. Someone will say like hash so and so, hash 1234, right? So and so XYZ layout, right? So and so area, right? So and so city, and so on so country. So this one area, one people other will tell. Then other people will tell, go straight, take left, and turn right side, and take left again. So go straight for 20 meters, take left 40 meters, and again go straight for 20 meters. So this is what someone will tell. And some more address, what they will tell, they will tell you like, go to Hebal, and then travel towards straightly, you will get the airport. Right? So which one is what here? What is this? All these are addresses or something different? All are same. Hello, you are with me? You're hearing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all of them are addresses. But what makes the difference is what here. Here also there is some concept actually between logical address and physical address. Actually, in these two, which one is real? Which one is not real? So this corresponding physical address is the original one. Or let us say this is the actual one. Right? Actual address. Then what about this logical address? Why we need this logical address? So there is a concept here beneath to it to understand this slide. If you want to understand this corresponding concept, So you need to know some background. So that's what we are discussing the background here. Okay. Now let us say this corresponding, sorry. Yeah, let us say this corresponding thing is your, yeah, this was your CPU. Okay. And now there is something called as memory. This is your memory. So what is this? It's CPU. What is this? It's main memory. Now the CPU want to access to this main memory. The CPU want to access to the main memory. So it is not possible here directly. So we have intermediately one more block we have here. What is this one more block? So this is called as memory management unit. This is called as MMU, we call it as, or it's also called as memory, okay, management unit, we call this as. Now what this memory management will do, you know, so actually the CPU what we have here, it will generate, so that it will generate here this one, this is your logical address. It's going to generate the logical address. Okay, but memory, if you want to understand, so this understanding of the memory can happen only by the physical address. Okay, it's like you have two countries, you have India and you have USA. Okay, this India will use rupee and we use rupee here and they use dollar, right? Now you want to translate between these two. So this is different, this is different. So like that here, the CPU will use the logical address and this main memory will understand only the physical address. Now what this memory management unit should do, it will have actually a table. It will have a table. So this is called as what? Memory table, or let us say it is called as map table. So this map table, what it will do, it will take the logical address and it will correspondingly to the logical address, it will send to the physical address. So this way it will memory will map. So that's why you need to understand here, you need to understand here effectively the logical and physical address. You got an idea what is these two? Logical address and physical address. Okay, so this main memory, who is going to allocate this physical address allocated by what? Is allocated by the corresponding hardware, whereas logical address allocated by CPU. CPU will call by logical address, hardware will respond by what? Physical address. So now there is something like we need to understand the addresses. Okay, so this logical address is also called as what? Is your abstract address. This is called as abstract address, or let us say this is also called as virtual address. Okay, so this is being given by what? All these three are given by the CPU. Let us say all these three are same. The CPU is going to give that, and based on this memory mapping unit, or this also can be called as address translation unit. So this is going to convert the corresponding logical address back to the physical address. Okay, so this, what is this physical address? This physical address, what we're talking about, this physical address is what? This is the location in memory. This physical address is what? Is the location in memory. And this is going to identify by whom? This has been identified by what? Identified by memory hardware. Identified by memory hardware, and can never be viewed. We cannot see this. So this is not able to view. We cannot able to view this, and we don't have any direct access for this. No direct access for this. Okay, so there is no direct access for this. Is that clear? Can you quickly tell me what is the difference between these two memories, address memory and logical memory? Sorry, logical memory and physical memory, quickly. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, if you look at this one here, if you look at this one here, logical address. So this logical address for an instruction or data byte used in a process. So whatever the address we are using in a process is a logical address used as a pair. So we use like this. The logical address is like uh, the corresponding component of composite with byte. So this it's been told in this format. What about physical address? Physical address is the address in memory where the instructions or data bytes exist. Where exactly the data bytes exist, we call it like this. Let us say if you want to find the effective address here, how do you find the effective address of this one? Let us say this will be starting address of the memory area and byte number of that. So this is starting address. This is your COMP, right? COMP of that means what? It's the starting address. Where it is starting, let us say it's starting around 100K it is starting with. Okay, and what about the byte in this? So what is the meaning of that? It's very simple. If you look at this one here, if you look at this one here, okay, so this is starting with the 10K. Okay, but your memory is somewhere here, which means this is at 12th position. Okay, so how the memory they are doing here is this composite will map to the 10K and this byte they'll map it to 12K. It is like this. It is so you have for corresponding, for example, you have a corresponding layout. Okay, so layout will have a rows of houses, correct? So first one will tell about the COMP correspondingly. This will say, example, this is the phase number. Let us say go to Jayanagar or if you go to Yelahanka, anyways, right? So it will talk about the phase. So what does that mean? A first phase, or let us say second phase. So first phase or second phase it will talk about, right? So that is that. And in first phase you have a door number like this hash, right? Hash 99. Okay, so you can see like when you are writing an address you would write like Jayanagar phase 1 door number 99. Okay, so in this way you can able to identify that. So that's what it is. The logical address will have in this manner. Okay, is that clear? You're understanding this? Yeah. Now quickly you see the diagram. Watch the diagram. What is happening? Quickly watch the diagram. You can able to watch this diagram. See this one here. One second. 1 minute. It is. Just a minute. So there was some malfunction here. Just a minute. Okay. Now if you see this diagram carefully here, what is happening in this diagram? See this one. This is the memory allocation information. This corresponding thing is memory allocation information of P, process P. Okay. And this corresponding is the operational address. Now so this one it is going to take to the memory map management unit. We call it as MMU, right? So MMU is this, which means let us say this is your logical address or physical address, whatever we got here. From that we are converting it to other form. So this we can see this here. One form of that we are going to, this is your memory management unit. This one. Just a second. This is your corresponding MMU. Okay. Yeah. Got an idea now? So what this is going to do is, it is going to convert the corresponding logical address into physical address. Okay. So memory areas allocated to process P, whichever is given by this, right? Whichever is given by this, it is given in this format, memory areas given to process P. 1 second. Yeah, memory areas allocated to the process P. So this corresponding block, what we have represented here, is this memory area allocated to process P. So this is the memory area allocated to process P. From there, it will take the MMU and get other address. So which means we are trying to map it from logical address to the physical address. So quite simple as that. Okay. We'll go to the next slide here. So what are the approaches we can use for non-contiguous memory? So while to avoid this non-contiguous memory, what we can do here is, we can able to use paging, or we can able to use segmentation. We can able to use paging concept, or we can able to use this segmentation concept. Any one we can use, and also we can use something called as hybrid approach. Any one of them we can use to compute the process. What is this paging process involved in non-contiguous memory? So paging process is what? This process will consist of fixed size of components called pages. So let us say we have something like this. We have a page. Let us say we have a book, right? We'll have pages, right? So this page 1, page 2, and up to so on page n. So like this it is. It is fixed size. Let us say if you take a notebook, we can have 24 lines, right? Like this in terms of any operating system, we can have, let us say, page can have around 100 characters, or page can have 1 KB of space. Like that we can define. Okay. The fixed size components. Each frame will be of fixed size. A page. That's called a page. Same like what we use in normal day-to-day life. That's it. Okay. Next one. Eliminates external fragmentation. So we are able to, using this one, we can able to eliminate the external fragmentation. The external fragmentation part we can able to eliminate by using this. We have seen external fragmentation, internal fragmentation, right? So that one we can able to eliminate that. The page size is defined by hardware. The page size is defined by hardware. So the hardware what we have is going to decide the page size. What hardware we are going to use, that is going to decide this. Okay. So next is segmentation. The programmer will identify the logical entities in a program. The programmer will identify the logical entities in a program. Each is called as segment. Programmer will identify the logic. This is called as segment. So this will facilitate the sharing of the code and data memory and the program modules among the process. This is going to do that. Okay. Is it clear? So using these two methods, we can able to solve the non-contiguous memory allocation. Okay. Yeah. Please go through this table. So compare between non-contiguous and contiguous memory. Please go through this table. Please go through this. First one is what? Memory allocation. What you can understand from memory allocation? What is first one? Memory allocation means what? How the memory allocation will be done in contiguous memory and how the memory allocation will be done in non-contiguous memory is what given. And how the address translation will be done, how memory fragmentation is done and how swapping is done, is what all the things are given here. Please go through that. Any doubts in this? You please go through that. Any doubts, you please let me know. The difference between these two. You've gone through this? Just a second. Yeah, after that, this memory protection, how to do we have. So this memory management unit will able to provide that, and if you have the byte address only, you can able to access that, or if not, you cannot able to use it. And we can able to check this by using simplified paging technique. So if you have this byte address, it cannot exceed the size of the page. If the byte address, if you see this one here, let us say, if this is your phase 1 project, we have only 100 houses. Okay, we have a security guard here. Security guard will ask you what house you want to enter into. If you say house number 101, then you can able to identify easily that 101 house is not there, so you cannot able to enter inside the community. Correct? So like that here, based on this byte I, this byte I will cannot have the page number more than the page number size, more than page size. Let us say you have a page here, so this page will have around 24 lines. Okay, you can write in first line, second line, or you can write in 24th line. 25th line if you want to write, it is not possible. So this way we are able to provide some security here. Okay, is that clear? And this is called as bounds check. So this we can able to do by using this one component and byte I. So that's what we have shown, one byte I. This component I also will be showing that, let us say this is the phase 1, and if you ask you for phase 2, then you can able to straight away reject this person. Correct? Let us say this is page 1. If you are trying to write something in page 2, straight away we can reject this. So that's how we can able to provide security by using this component and byte. Okay. And if you see the next concept, it's called as paging. What is the next concept? It's called as, first we have seen contiguous memory and non-contiguous memory. So after that, what we have seen, we are trying to see the concept called paging. So what is this paging? How to understand this paging? Okay, so this is the third concept in your third module. Paging is what, in the logical view, the address space of a process consists of linear arrangement of pages. This is what. Okay, so logical view of process in paging. So this is a logical view. This is not the physical view. Okay, so each page has S bytes. Each page will have what? S bytes, where S is the power of 2. S is the power of 2. So 2 power S. Based on S, if it is S value is 2 here, S value is 2 here, so it is 2 power 2, we'll have 4 pages. Because the process we have here is only 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So S value is 2 here. So it can map up to 4 pages. That's all. It cannot map more than that many number of pages. Correct? So that's what will happen here. So that's about the page, yes. Okay, and next is what, the value of S is specified in the architecture of the computer. The value of S is specified in the architecture of the computer. How many pages you should have, it is there in the architecture of the computer. The architecture says that the value of s is given up to 128. You can go up to 2 power 128 number of pages. Okay, and this process what we use, it is the numeric logic address. The process what we have here, this is the sample they are given here. This is the numeric address for the process. Okay, so with this note, we'll have the concept of paging will continue in the next class, and followed by paging we'll also do the something called as segmentation. I'll just show you what all to check it. All these things you check it out and come. You have the slides with you, and we'll see paging concept and followed by the segmentation concept. Segmentation with paging. Okay, very simple there all. Okay, yeah. So any doubts you have till now, you please let me know. I have a next hour back to back today. So if you have any doubts, you please ask me. If you do not have any doubts, yeah, you can make it. Thank you all. See you in the next class. Any queries or any questions, please let me know. ఏంటి నిమిషం